New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Good morning, Fin fans. Yes, today is Monday morning, July 10th. It's 6:03 a.m. and it's currently 83 degrees with clear skies in Miami. Today's high is 90. There is a heat advisory. Please make sure to stay cool, drink a lot of water, get your electrolytes. There's currently 78% humidity. It feels like 91. So when it gets to 90, imagine what it's going to feel like, probably over 100. If you're in the chat, please tell us, 1, where are you watching from? 2, if you can hear me okay. So I want to make sure my sound and everything is okay. Please put it in the chat. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And while you're hanging out with us, check out some of the other content that's out there. We have the El Capitan show going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, some Fridays or Thursdays. Even on Sundays during the season, he will be going and calling the games that he's not attending. So definitely check out El Capitan. Check out Color and I Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Top of the tailgate. I also do some pre-recorded episodes of Broken Takes, which I will be doing pretty shortly as the season starts. And in addition, Late Night Exhale is coming back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Late Night Exhale is coming back to the Fins Tailgate. Start of the preseason. We're going to roll it out and see where it takes us. This is the hype show. So if you're looking for that Saturday night content and you want the hype, come to the Fins Tailgate. Come check out Late Night Exhale with your host and myself, Color, and Even Shake Money and Lewis will be there. The whole gang will drop in at some point all over the place. So definitely check that out. That's every Saturday. If there's a home game, since I'm a season ticket holder, sometimes we may not go as long as we normally do. Just FYI. Usually that show starts around 10 o'clock and we go to the wee morning of the day. But sometimes, when we're going to games, we'll cut it shorter and we'll play it by ear. But definitely check us out. Check out KP. KP is going to be rolling out some content soon. I can't wait to see that. And partnering up with KP, newest team member of the TailGate. Shout out to him. And then check out Lewis and Shake Money, the primetime duo, both on the Twitter Spaces, on Larry K's channel, doing the blender, Finn's drive time, smoke lounge. Shake Money and Lewis are all over the place like a bunch of madmen, literally. So definitely check out both of those guys. Follow them on Twitter. Follow their shows. Hit like and subscribe. In addition to that, if you really like the content and you want more of it, you can always become a member. We have 3 different levels. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP. And there's different stuff you get with that, different patches and different emojis and different content. You also get notified a little bit faster. There's other stuff we're rolling out with that as well. But we also accept Cash App, Venmo, or Super Chats and Super Stickers. Now, you don't have to. We'd appreciate it if you did, but, it keeps the content flowing, but, it's not required here. It's only the kindness of your heart. What else? Oh yeah, and while you're hanging out, in the description below, check out some of our other stuff. Let's check out our affiliates. We already mentioned Fanatics. Fanatics, you get your officially licensed gear. Everything from jerseys, the draft hats, like the one I'm wearing right now. Check it out if you can. They have signed memorabilia. They have the actual, I believe they call them Superflex jerseys that they wear on the field. They have everything at Fanatics. They always got deals going on. They always have split payments or expedited shipping. I ordered a custom jersey, no joke, right? And I ordered it on Friday and it arrived on Monday. So shout out to Fanatics. Use the link below in the description. By doing so, it's like dropping our name that we sent you. It helps out the channel. There's no difference in the deals or pricing you get or anything like that. It's the same website, everything. It's just by using our link, they give us some credit, a thank you for sending someone over to us. That's basically what it is. So definitely check out Fanatics. In addition to that, check out Backroom Collection. You're looking for some amazing artwork, canvas artwork that's customizable and whatever you want. They got some really cool stuff. They also have accessories for those mini helmets that everybody collects and stuff. So check out Backroom Collection. You can hang that stuff virtually everywhere. Your bathroom, your mama's kitchen, your basement, your workplace. Doesn't matter. You can hang it even outside your house. I'm going to hang one probably in my patio along with the rest of the grilling and all that kind of stuff. I think it would look cool with the whole setup. So definitely check out Backroom Collection. And while you're trying to get up this morning, maybe Doobie Energy Drink might be for you. Debbie Energy Drink has a variety of different energy supplements, and they have different flavors and stuff. Shake Money has been doing his review. He's doing one this Saturday as well, so definitely check that out. In addition to it, Doobie Energy Drink supposedly does not have a lot of the byproduct and artificial sugars and some of the contents that are very harmful for the body in them. They do overload on a lot of minerals and vitamins that benefit the brain, specifically on focus and concentration. So definitely check out Doobie Energy Drink supplements. Like I said, they have a lot of flavors. Check out Shake Money's video if you want to know more about that. In addition, if you want 10% off of your order of Doobie Energy Drink or Backroom Collection, use code TFTG at checkout, save 10% off. And while you're hanging out with us, and first off, thank you to all of our affiliates, Doobie, Fanatics, and Backroom Collection. Come check out our website, tftgnetwork.com, right? Your one-stop shop for everything everything TFTG. Not just our merch store, obviously. It's to get instant news, Miami Dolphins news. You can get instant updates of content that's coming. If you sign up for the newsletter, not only do you get 10% off your order on the merch store, but you'll get updates of special event content that's coming. So definitely go to TFTG Network and sign up. If you check out the merch store, it's not your average merch store where you have just a t-shirt and hat and maybe something else. This is a full-blown catalog, variety of different items. A lot of them were inspired by the show, by the audience. People in the audience that come to our shows every day inspired us for some of the stuff that we have. Everything from t-shirts, cooking aprons, kitchen utensils, purses for the ladies. They have sandals, socks, the whole 10 yards. They got mouse pads, everything. In some way or form, you, the audience, for being here, by hitting and liking and subscribe, by participating in the panels, by showing up and giving us your feedback in the chat, regardless, positive or negative, inspired us on a lot of the stuff that you see in our merch store. So if you want to be a part of it, go check it out. Especially people that are part of my Wolfpack team, you know who you are. There's some good stuff there. Check out the Late Night XL tanks and different stuff that they have. So definitely check it out. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Let's just be real. You probably saw the poll that I posted in the chat. Please take a vote sometime before the first hour. My whole family is sick. I don't know what happened. We go to, the water park and Disney, and, it's really hot and everything. Feeling fine when I woke up yesterday morning. And then I don't know what happened, but right before El Capitan went live, I'm sitting here like, man, I don't feel good. And come to find out, my kids are sick. My wife is sick. And this whole side of my face right now hurts unbelievably. And I'm going to push through it, though. I'm going to walk this lonely road. I don't know where Color is at right this moment. Hopefully he joins us soon, because I was hoping he'd carry me a little bit. But I'm here. I'm going to walk this lonely road, and we're going to keep pushing, because this is part of the hustle and part of the grind that we do to provide you guys content. So let's keep it moving. So that being said, how's everybody doing? Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. I see a couple people from Facebook also joining. But shout out to Trucker Sean. How you doing? Thank you for saying feel better. Appreciate that. Aquavision, you're always here, bro. Always. Duke Tomlinson, how's it going from Australia? Oh, interesting. Let's see. C. Hoffel, how's it going? Northwest Ohio friend. Appreciate that. And Joe Levesque, what's up, man? How you guys doing? Big up to you. And make sure, if you're joining or haven't joined the chat, or if you're on the Twitter side or Facebook side, come to YouTube, join the chat, hit like and subscribe on YouTube. Come join the conversation. So, no coffee of the week today, unless Color shows up. Maybe I'll give a shout out to the coffee of the week. I kind of wait for him because we'd like to give our review of the coffee. Figured that's a me and Color thing. But we will talk about cause for cleats. Give me one moment. And please put in the chat if you guys can hear me. Okay, I want to make sure that the volume and everything is good. Please let me know in the chat. But let's keep it going. So, cause for cleats. Now, this one, I'm not sure whose cause for cleats this is. Based on the current cause for cleats list for the Miami Dolphins, I virtually have gone over every single person, right? So I've decided to extend cause for cleats because it's not about the person representing them. It's about the cause itself. Thank you. Thank you for telling me it sounds good. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's keep it going, though. So today's cause for cleats is none other than March of Dimes. Now, why March of Dimes? This one hits the soul for me. I was affected by this by not just personally, but friends of mine, family members of mine, and it sucks. It sucks. So, what is March of Dimes? Well, their mission is to lead the fight for health of all moms and babies. Their goals are to end the preventable maternal health risks and deaths, and preventable preterm birth and infant death, and close the health equity gap, basically. Um, I don't know if I may have talked about it on Late Night Exhale or at some time, speaking to friends that I have grown to have. And, people don't know this, but talking to the chat and talking to people up on your panels, sometimes we sit here and we yell and scream at people, but through the way and through the evolution of TFTG and where it is today, those people that have come up on a regular, I consider them to be friends, right? I have met quite a few of them in person. I have hung out with these people at games. I have told them certain things, that I would tell friends. So I appreciate everybody that comes and watches our show. I want to continue to gaining new friends and new relationships and networking throughout my entire, career of being a YouTuber. But I really take that to heart. So I just want to say that first. Now, that being said, my second child was a premature child. My wife was at work, and at the time, the doctor did not say she absolutely had to be, bedridden or anything. She was about, I want to say she was about 34 weeks, I want to say, maybe a little bit less than that. My memory's not so good. I try not to remember some of the things that happened during that day. But I'm watching the Miami Dolphins play. I will not forget that. And I'm drinking beer, and I get a phone call from my wife. And she goes, "Hey, I'm at work." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. What's going on? You okay?" "I think my water broke." And immediately I spit beer all over myself. And it just sunk. I didn't know what to do. I immediately said, "You know what? I'm going to come get you." She said, No. I'm not in any pain. I called the doctor. I'm meeting the doctor. She's going to do what they tell us to do. They tell her that she has to go to the emergency room to get checked out. So I tell her I'm going to come pick you up. And she goes, No. I'll meet you there. And I'm like, What? What are you talking about? I'm not in any pain. By the time you come here to get me work, I could already be at the hospital, and that would be better. And I was like, Are you absolutely sure? And my wife, when she's telling me to do something, she's really telling me to do something. So I get to the hospital, right? And I meet her right as she arrived and everything. So she was right. By the time we both arrived at the exact same time, which was faster. And we get there, and immediately they ask us what's going on. We tell them, and they immediately start moving her into a room. They get her all set up in the delivery room and all that. And the lady says, "Well, we got to take samples and, make sure that your water broke and everything." And as she looks down, she can see on the floor where there's remnants of her water breaking. She goes, I still have to do this test, but I can tell you you're having this baby today." And I, not knowing what the consequences are, it just sunk in. And I know I'm going to get emotional talking about this because I always do. But it was the scariest thing in the entire world. And luckily through the labor, somehow, I guess because her labor she did break her water, but it was slow coming. It took a while. It took like 26 hours of labor. Shout out to my wife. They said by the time she had the baby, she was exactly, I want to say, don't quote me on the weeks, I want to say she was like 35 weeks or something like that. And they say that that's when the lungs are fully grown and developed. And it was hard. It was really hard. I didn't know what to expect. They immediately started doing tests on my child after she was born. Beautiful child. I love her to death. And they said they had to take her to the NICU. And I, without thinking, just followed. It was the biggest rush in my life. I didn't know what to expect. I was talking a mile a minute, crying like I am probably right now. Yeah, I'm a grown man. I don't care. When it comes to my kids, I will cry. I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. Doesn't matter. So it was scary for me. That was and luckily with all the people in the NICU and everything, they helped us figure things out. We realized that we're gonna have to be there around the clock to help making sure that she was getting fed properly. My wife, whatever reason, was not developing the proper milk yet and everything, and we had to make sure we had the proper formula and stuff. And we were there. I want to say it felt like forever. We were in the NICU forever. It felt like it may have only been about 7 to 10 days, but I was there around the clock with my wife. That was the worst night of my life when it comes to sleep or anything. I didn't want to go through that again. And to top it off, to make matters worse, the second time, because now obviously I have a beautiful 5-year-old going on 6-year-old and everything, and I now have a son who's 2 years old now. When my wife went to have our son, this time it wasn't our child that was premature. There was complications after the pregnancy. And it's scary, man. It is scary what can happen in a hospital. And it's programs like March of Dimes that invest in money in programs and research and in training in all of that stuff to help alleviate some of those issues. They want to prevent preterm birth. They want to help unfortunate women that may not get all the best care in a hospital at times. That's why it hits home for me. And I've had friends that have dealt, mine was not so bad now that I reflect on it, but I've had friends. Shout out to my friend. He knows he is. I'm not going to name drop him because I don't do that unless he tells me it's okay. His brother had a child that was like, I want to say like 20 weeks. And I have another friend also that had a similar situation. And now you can't even tell they were premature, but it's for programs like that really hit me. And I appreciate, everybody check out March of Dimes. You can go marchofdimes.org to learn all about what they do. They make an impact. March of Dimes believe in a world where every mom and baby is healthy regardless of wealth, race, gender, or geography. The U.S. remains among the most dangerous developed nations for childbirth, especially for families of color. Through research, programs, and advocacy, their supporters enable them to be there for parents throughout their pregnancies. And there was, no joke, because we had a premature baby, there was a lot of programs and stuff that we became preview to and asked if we wanted to partake in different things. So, and it's for programs like this. It doesn't have to be a March of Dimes because there's a lot of programs that support similar causes. But this is one that I've been a part of from a long time, even before my kids. So definitely check out marchofdimes.org. That's my cause of plea. That's my crying rant this morning to get through the day. So take it for what it will, or take it for what it is. It was a hell of an experience. So shout out to them. That's my cause for cleats. No more crying for the rest of the day. Let's keep it going. All right. What else do we got on the docket? Oh, some news. And I'm going to switch brands for a moment so I can play this commercial because I don't have the commercial on my end, unfortunately. Let me go here and we'll do this. Breaking news here at TFTG. Color and I will be attending training camp for several days, as well as El Capitan might be showing up to camp as well. And with that, check us out. We'll be going to the first day, July 30th, right? And check us out. If you haven't seen this already, let me remove the banner. Yeah, check out Color Goes to Camp coming July 31st. That's the morning after the first day of camp. We'll be talking what we saw, what our experience was at camp. We'll be talking about player battles that we saw, what we saw on the field. You know, I'm gonna try to get some exclusive stuff, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what's up. But definitely check out Color and I. The whole everybody here, everybody in the chat is going to be coming at some point. You know, I have a couple tickets. I'm trying to take as many people as I can with me. So more on that later. But shout out to Color. I know you may not be with us right this moment, but hopefully I will see you soon, and we'll definitely get everything planned out. So if you haven't yet, hit like and subscribe. I appreciate it. We got a lot of people watching. I know it's the early bird. Let's keep it going though. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. If you're on the Twitter side, or if you've gone to Twitter, follow me on Twitter. You know, you see the @ handle right underneath my name. Go ahead and put that in. Search for me. Follow me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. The reason for that is, one, you'll get instant updates on the tweets that I post and everything. And also, if you are checking out our website, you can see stuff there too, instant access to my Twitter feed and whatnot. Plus, if you want to be in some of the spaces that we go to, you got to be friends with us or friends with somebody in the group. So definitely follow me. I appreciate it. Trying to get everybody at TFTG. So even if it's Lewis, myself, Color, Shake Money, El Capitan, KP, Color, it does not matter. Go follow them on Twitter. The road to 1,000 is what we're trying to get. Everybody at 1,000. I think some people might be there already. I'm about a little over 600, so I'm trying to get to 1,000. We'd really appreciate that. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's talk some football, right? That's what everybody wants. It's currently 6:28 a.m. and still, right now, it's 83 degrees, clear skies in Miami. Feels like 91. There is a heat advisory, so stay cool, my friends. Make sure that you're getting enough water. What is going on? How did everybody's weekend go? Put it in the chat. Tell me how your weekend went. Let's see here. Okay. Trying to get everybody up here. All right. Trying to see if there's any up-to-date news. The biggest news a lot of people are saying is that supposedly Chris Greer and Dalvin Cook are not really seeing eye to eye in regards to what Dalvin Cook's offer is and what he wants to be able to sign here. The clear consensus is Dalvin wants to be here. That Dalvin wants to be with the Miami Dolphins, but he wants the offer to be a little bit better. I know other YouTubers have stated this, and I agree with them 100%. I don't believe that Dalvin will sign until after the 17th of July. There's no reason for him to sign until after that, partially because there are several high-ranking running backs that have not signed their tender yet, and by signing their tender, they kind of set the market. So that's why I think that he'll wait until then. There's other people that believe he won't sign until maybe the eve of training camp. That's very possible. Very, very possible. We will definitely see what happens. So that's your Dalvin Cook news. Let's keep it going here. I'm just trying to see if there was any late breaking news, and I don't really see anything. People asking why hasn't D-Hop signed with the Patriots yet. Supposedly he's gotten a much better offer from the Tennessee Titans. That would be interesting. I don't know what they're looking at regarding quarterback. The rumor has it that Malik Willis has outperformed Will Levis, though they expect Malik Willis to be cut when it's all said and done. So I don't know if he'll sign that. Maybe D-Hop will go to Titans, but they're pushing for him. So shout out to D-Hop. If you didn't hear, Sherman has yet to retire and is yet to announce retirement. Richard Sherman explained in an interview that while covering Devonta Smith, he heard something snap and he knew that could be his last year in the NFL. Now he still hasn't announced retirement, even though he joined Amazon Prime for Thursday Night Football. But it's expected. I think he'll eventually announce. I know he's trying to develop his agency. He wants, I think he's gonna go down the road of becoming a sports agent eventually. So we'll definitely see what happens there. And those are for who are wondering. There's no last minute updates or anything in regards to Tyreek Hill or the ongoing situation. No update. I don't expect that there will be. We'll see. On to the Dolphins news. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Now, it's 6:32. All right. 6:32. And I put a poll if you haven't already seen it because I'm not feeling very well. I'm going to try to push forward as much as I can and stay as long as I can. Tell me what you guys think. Should I call it a day after the first hour, or should I continue to push through? We'll see. Hopefully I make it here. And I'm sorry if I don't sound really good or really hyped up. My nose and like I said, my whole side of my face is like hurting right now. It's unbelievable. All right, let's keep it going. So the Miami Dolphins, did we make, and this is shout out to Omar Kelly for putting this article out. And I wanted Color here for this because Color has a point of view of this that me and him argued for several hours prior to last season about this gentleman. So should Dolphins be comfortable with the backup QBs? Was moving on from Teddy Bridgewater a wise idea for Miami? ? Do the Dolphins have a safety or linebacker who can cover opposite tight ends? ? They answer these questions and more. So, is this year's QB room stronger than last year's? Do you view Mike White as an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater? And did Skylar Thompson's 4 starts last year benefit him? So, this is, I believe Omar is answering this, and let me see what he says here. He says, I haven't actually read this, but I was curious to what he said. I haven't hidden the fact that I believe the Dolphins downgraded at quarterback, moving on from Bridgewater, replacing him with White. Even though Bridgewater couldn't stay healthy for most last season, he poses a veteran savvy this team could benefit from. He owns a 33-32 record as an NFL starter and a quarterback who can deliver wins hard to come by. Bridgewater is still unemployed, so the Dolphins can easily sign him if replaced in a quarterback pickle. I've heard rumblings he was going to sign in Denver, reuniting him with Sean Payton, but that never happened until he's signed. I'll continue to view Bridgewater as an option. As for White and Thompson, I'm curious to see how that position battle plays out because the joint practices and expedition season will likely indicate who is the clear-cut number 2. As for Thompson, playing the last season should benefit him. It should show him how much work he needs to do to keep up his processing speed. That is absolutely true. I definitely agree. Definitely having the experience, starting several games as well as the playoff game definitely gives him kind of an edge because it's something that Mike White doesn't have. Mike White did shine in his, short period of time that he was with the Jets. And, we've had people here like Color and myself when we're looking at fantasy drafts and stuff. We all said that Mike White was a guy to kind of place a bet on. So it'll be very interesting. So far, I've heard Skylar looks like the better quarterback, but, we'll see what happens when training camp happens. I'll definitely be paying attention. I want to see who the clear-cut number 2 is, and hopefully this answers the question. What I have been encouraged by is the fact that the Dolphins have been, actually certain players, I should say, have been doing workouts with all the QBs that are, with the team. So that's good to hear because you're trying to, build up some continuity and relationship for their likes and don'ts on the field and, what they both accept so that it will look like a fluid team, when it matters most. So shout out to them. So the next question is, and this is a good question, do we have anybody that can cover a pass-catching tight end? Tight ends have crushed us the past few years. We know what Gronk does to us. We know what, some of the tight ends throughout the league has done to us. Well, the Dolphins don't have Eric Rowe anymore since he signed with the Carolina Panthers. But they got a couple options when it comes to who will be his replacement as the tight end coverage specialist. I personally feel that would be an excellent role for Trill Williams, who is a converted corner to safety. He does look like he put on some muscle, so it will be kind of interesting what he does and how he pans out. Who is coming back from an ACL injury that cost him all of the 2022 season. Williams has the size of a safety, and there's talk he's making the transition from corner to safety. I'm actually excited to see him during training. Then there's Deshaun Elliott, who has started 35 NFL games for the Ravens and the Lions the past 4 years. We don't get to see him much during training camp, but if you started for the Ravens, you'll likely pass my sniff test. But then again, the Ravens did move on from Elliott. And in a break, in the case of an emergency situation, say Miami needs someone to contain Kansas City Travis Kelce, the Dolphins can always use Jalen Ramsey in that rover role. He's actually played it some during his time with the Los Angeles Rams, while Mike McDaniel turned the nose up at the thought of Ramsey playing safety. The NFL is a situation-based game now. Sorry, I can't even read. And the situation presents itself, and it's a favorable matchup for Miami. Watch the Dolphins do it. And I think we have Color. Color, you're here. Thank God.
Good morning, sir. Sorry.
No, it's okay, man. I'm just not feeling very good, so I kind of need some help here.
Oh,
My
man.
face, I have a migraine, and my face hurts, and my nose is stuffed. I don't know what's going on. The whole family is sick, but it sucks.
Oh, well, man. Hope everybody's okay.
Oh, yeah, I hope so too, bro. But yeah, man, so we're talking about, certain question marks we still have on this team. We talked about Bridgewater. By not re-signing him, did we downgrade by going with Mike White? Are you okay with, our backup QBs? Omar thinks that, he's not hiding it, that he thinks that bringing in Mike White over Bridgewater is a downgrade. But it'll be interesting what him and Thompson do in a battle during training camp. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to argue about whether Bridgewater is a downgrade or an upgrade to Mike White. I mean,
obviously he's an upgrade. The guy has had he's a 33-32 record, 50% win rate almost, or a little bit over 50%. In addition, he's, been in the playoffs. I think he gives you a better chance of winning based on experience alone.
Yeah, which I argued all offseason last year, except that he I
know. I definitely hear you, what you're saying. I would say to that I felt like there were times that Bridgewater I felt was unprepared. Now, I'm not going to say that's his fault. That could very well be Mike McDaniel's fault. So whoever we bring in, I want to make sure that they put in the work to be prepared. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Let it be Skyler, Mike White, or we could re-sign Bridgewater. He's still a free agent. It's very well possible.
Right.
Maybe Mike White shits the bed really that bad and he's that garbage. We've heard that he hasn't looked good yet in the mini camps and stuff. maybe they re-sign him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that'll be interesting to see what Miami does. That'll be one of the battles that I'm definitely going to pay attention to see if there has been an upgrade in Skylar's performance, and where Mike White stands with that. Like, does he give him a run for his money, or does he just bow down and Skylar's the clear number 2? Right.
What I mean?
That's where I'm. But right now, just because he has a playoff start in his pocket, I'm kind of giving the edge to Skylar. Plus, he's been in the system for a year now.
Yeah, it should be his to lose, to be honest with you.
Yeah, based on the quarterbacks that are there, it's definitely his number 2 job to lose, definitely. Let's keep it moving. You missed my crying fest over the cause for cleats, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went on a whole monologue about my personal experience with premature birth and complications during pregnancy and stuff, and
right.
With my wife, and you and I have had discussions about it, and every time I think about it, bro, it makes me cry. I don't care. I'll cry in front of grown men. Doesn't matter. When it comes to my kids, I think you have the right to cry about your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. Let's see. Let's keep it moving. So the next thing was in regards to the safety position. Are you comfortable with who we have here? Do you think we need to look to bring someone else in? Now, they mentioned that Trill Williams is a corner that's converting the safety. So there's that. Deshaun Elliott we brought in. But then again, the Ravens let him go. So, why did they move off of him? That's the big question mark. And then we also have Jalen Ramsey, who could play that rover position. That's what Omar said. So are you comfortable with that? Or do you think we definitely need to go fishing to see who's out there to bring someone in?
Unless there's somebody I don't know about that's a really, proven commodity, then no, I think we're good. I mean, I'm hard-pressed to find an upgrade somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely understand. Let me just check something real quick. I want to see. Let me see who's out there. If there's any names that we could maybe look at. There's John Johnson. Wow, this guy was a Miami Dolphins for a while. I guess Clayton Fledulum is out there. He's not been re-signed. Yes. That's a guy that we always re-signed.
Right.
Marcus Allen, LaMarcus Joyner. Trying to see if there's anybody that I really like. Holy crap! I gotta go get him. That kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I wasn't assuming there was a guy like that available.
Devin McCourtney is available. Some familiar names. Yeah. So there's really not anybody that's really available. I'm hoping some of the guys we brought in can really, step up to the plate, elevate their game, and show the talent that, we think that they have, during training camp, to kind of show Vic Fangio what they got in the tank. I really want to see, what I expect out of training camp. And we advertise for the day after first day of training camp colors, so we can talk about it. I really want to see balls to the wall. I want to see them go 100%, put everything on the line throughout training camp. You know what I mean? I understand the first week it may not be as balls to the wall, but by the end of training camp, I want to see that they put everything out on the field to make this team. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm talking about the players that we have question marks about. Trill Williams, Nick Needham, the safety position, Deshaun Elliott. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mike White versus Skylar Thompson, for example. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, even Jalen Phillips, those guys, we all know what they have. Christian Wilkins, I know what they bring. Even the left tackle, Armstead, I know what he brings. You know what I mean? I want to see the guys behind them and what they bring. You know what I mean?
Right.
So let's keep it going. So this one, how much weight do the fans have on signing decisions? Dalvin Cook, for example, does coaching / management care how much the Dolphins community seems to want him. Okay, they're asking, does coaching / management care how much the Dolphins community seem to want him? Do you think they care? Or they're obviously, I would hope that they're just about the team and not really what the flavor of the month is.
Right.
That's what I'd hope. He goes on to say, Steve Ross, or Boss Ross, as I affectionately call him, this is what Omar is saying, is the biggest Dolphins fan you'll ever meet, if you could meet him. He thinks like you, the common fan, and acts like you. He just has billions and writes the checks for the product. Trust me, Ross knows what you want, and he often wants it too. Yes, that means Cook and all of the other flashy free agents the Dolphins usually flirt with. The difference is Ross doesn't force the hand of his executives and coaches. He'll listen and follow their lead. But if they say we want to do this and it aligns with his fandom, watch how fast he writes the check. I'm not sure how the Cook courtship will end, but I'm pretty certain the Pro Bowl tailback will end up in the AFC East. Miami's decision makers must decide if they want Cook playing for them or if they'd rather play against him twice a year. I kind of agree with that. You know what I mean? It seems like
there is something to be said about playing keep away.
Say that again?
I said there is something to be said about playing keep away.
Definitely. In color, I didn't realize this before, but let me turn down the music in the back. I apologize for that.
No, it's okay.
Because there we go. Here we go. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're gonna say he does play keep away? Is that what you said?
I said there's something to be said for playing keep away.
That is true. But listen, let's look at what Super Bowl contenders do. Usually right before training camp, you see Super Bowl contenders go out and sign depth pieces. If memory serves me right, and please correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but last offseason, right before training camp started, you saw a slew of free agents that the Philadelphia Eagles signed. And Ndamukong Suh, for example, they signed, I believe they signed a linebacker, and also they brought in a running back as well. You know what I mean? They go and build depth right before the season starts to fill those needs. I think Miami, if they're really serious about winning a Super Bowl and that this is the season, right? Because you only got 2 years left with Tyreek Hill. You have to put the depth pieces in place. And I want to say, because they haven't re-signed certain people, I think that's what the holdup is. Making sure that they have the money for some of these depth pieces that they know they need, or that they think they may need, and they need to at least play out the first week of training camp. What do you think?
Yeah, but I 100% agree. Because I don't think again, I think that there's still so much information that we're to be gained from camp that we'd be remiss in taking action without gathering that information.
Yeah. At the very earliest, I think that I know other people have said this, but I honestly think that Dalvin Cook is not going to sign until after July 17th. Remember that date, Color, because that's the date that all the big time restricted free agents that were franchised have to sign their tender, specifically Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, for example.
Right.
They have to sign their tenders. And those running backs are the ones that are going to set the market for a Dalvin Cook. And I don't see him signing until after that. It could be like after the first week of camp, and then they realize, okay, we do need an upgrade at running back. Or, no, we don't need a running back. We need a linebacker, and bring in Quan Alexander, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Let me see if there's any more. So this was an interesting question, and I want your opinion of this. Why isn't Mitchell Agude on your 53-man roster projection? He could find a place with Andrew Van Ginkel moving to inside linebacker. Great question, he says. As impressed as I was with Agude based on what we saw in unpadded practices this spring, I reserve judgment for contract-driven positions, offense and defensive line, linebacker, and tailback, until pads come on, which is when I see the players move with those pads and how they handle the physicality of the game. Some guys look like freakish athletes in shorts and shirts and then stiffen up with pads when pads come on. I'm not giving Agude the stamp of approval until I know if he stiffens up. As for my 53-man projection, I usually don't stress placing undrafted rookies on the practice squad until they flash in the expedition season, showcasing themselves to the rest of the league. Few teams are ever trying to poach what Miami has on the back end of their roster. The Dolphins are rarely ever cut a player or stashed a player on the practice squad who went on to become something sensational. The best player I can remember being poached from Miami during my time covering them, the team was Rob Ninkovich. That was the name I forgot about, Color. And I can honestly say Miami didn't miss out on much there. What do you think? You agree with him? Color, you might be muted.
Yep. Sorry, I was on a different screen. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I especially agree with the pads comment. It's a whole different. Your body's completely different with all that gear on, the way you move, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with you 100%. Yeah, I definitely agree with you 100%. When you get the pads on, and especially your full pads, you know what I mean? You're going to move differently. Your body is going to move and react differently. We need to see what it looks like in game time situations. You know what I mean? I need to see what it looks like. If you haven't voted yet, there's a poll going on if I should continue after the first hour. We're coming up 7 minutes to the first hour to come up. Right now, it's still at 50%. People are cutting the middle. Should I continue or keep going, Color? I was letting the audience decide. So if you haven't voted yet, go to the vote. If I should continue with the show after the first hour, or if I'm not doing so well, should I, call it a day for today until I get better? Please put it in. Please put in your vote as soon as you can. Yeah, I don't know if you ever had this kind of a thing, Color, but behind my eyeball, it hurts really bad. And it hurts so bad that my jaw kind of hurts in my cheek. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it sucks. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see what else is in the news. I was trying to see if there was any up-to-date news or, big news that came up. Here's an interesting question. Who are the most irreplaceable Miami Dolphins?
Right now?
Yeah, so he says, I heard Vic Fangio's interview about needing more talent. What other position is Vic Fangio wanting to upgrade on defense? If that interview wasn't a cry for help, I don't know what is, or what it was. And I have to agree with Fangio's perspective about Miami's lack of depth based on what I witnessed in the spring and summer OTA minicamp practices. The Dolphins don't have any depth at defensive line, linebacker depth inside and outside, and have a lot of backup safeties, but seem to be missing a starter. What if I were the Dolphins, I'd add defensive lineman Akeem Hicks or Carlos Dunlap, and linebacker like Quan Alexander, Anthony Barr, Rashawn Evans, or Zach Cunningham the week before training camp opens just to cover myself. I'm willing to be patient with safety position until I see where Brandon Jones is on his road back from his season-ending knee injury, what Deshaun Elliott has talent-wise, and what Trill Williams looks like in his transition from cornerback to safety. I agree with him. We just had this conversation. Same exact thing. You go and sign guys like he just mentioned. All of them I agree with 100%. This is what Super Bowl contending teams do, Color. They fill the need right before the beginning of the season. They load up, even if it doesn't look like they need any, because to be honest, I didn't think they needed running back last season, and they ended up, having to use it at some point. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, that's what I think we need to do. And look at it. Look what happened to us towards the playoffs. Yeah, we made the playoffs, but by the time we get there, we were kind of juiced. You know what I mean? We didn't have any fresh legs. We had both running backs who were coming off injuries here and there. And granted, it wasn't a long period of time that they missed out, but it definitely was a game here and there. Right.
Yep.
And, in having that linebacker, with extra juice, especially inside, could have definitely helped. Especially if you're going to focus on, stopping the run. And, we were hurting at corner. Xavier Howard, people were saying, well, he regressed so bad. Well, the issue with that is, one, he was nursing an injury and being forced to play because of the fact that you don't have someone that's reliable on the other side. Yeah, they have
Right.
Cater Kahoo, but you still need that third person. You know what I mean? At some point, somebody needs a break. So
I tend to agree.
I think the most important position, and I will tell you what Omar says. The question is, if Fangio runs a 3-4 defense and Christian Wilkins is not a nose tackle, do you see them re-signing Raekwon Davis and maybe letting Christian Wilkins walk? Also, they need a backup nose, right? Question mark. The Dolphins definitely need a backup nose tackle unless Brandon Pilley blossoms in his rookie season, but that might be something the Dolphins can wait on till teams trim their rosters down to 53. For now, as long as Davis is healthy, the franchise should be fine, but Wilkins and Zach Seiler can't do what he does or fill that role. If Davis went down, we'd probably see Miami move to a 4-3 front with Wilkins, Seiler playing traditional defensive tackles roles, and Emmanuel Ogbah and Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips serving as the end rushers. I'm glad you brought this question up because it allows me to remind people how important reassigning Davis is. He's not a flashy player, but I've been told by NFL insiders that nose tackle is the second hardest position to find and groom in the NFL, trailing only quarterback. You don't just let one walk out the door as a free agent. I kind of agree with that. The nose tackle, defensive tackle, is a different position than your standard traditional defensive tackle in a 4-3. You have to basically be, and this brings out the gamer in me, but you basically have to be the tank. And what I mean by that is you have to be such a force to bring on the double and triple teams. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that frees up the guys on your right or left, or even linebackers, to go out to bring the pressure. You're basically grabbing all the aggro, if you want to call it that. You know what I'm saying,
Right.
Colin?
Yep.
So what are your thoughts on that? Do you have anything else to add to that?
Not really. I mean, it's really, it's complete. It's adding more depth and shoring up what we have. I mean, I didn't really see a gaping hole, last off season for nose tackle. So I think that, looking at the rookie is gonna be very important. And if I don't know, it's like every other position. There's just so few options other than just peppering in more people. And I think that that's going to happen, like you're saying, as we ramp up closer to the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I kind of think we need that's a position I think is an absolute must. You have to bring in Akeem Hicks or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
We only have 3 defensive tackles technically that
Right.
are slated to actually make this roster. You don't have that 4th person that you really need,
Right. So it really comes down to, do we want to shore up D tackle, or do we want to get, bring in more linebackers because of, being unsure about our tackling? I mean, that's really our only issue at linebacker. So I don't, you might be, they might be actually better off, shoring up the line.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they did bring in David Long at linebacker. That's a move right there. So, these other guys, nobody's like lining up down the road for them. So they're going to be available if needed.
I know you're also looking at the second year of like guys that play defensive end or outside linebacker role, like Good, for example, who was brought up from the practice squad. So you have guys like him here that have been under the team already. But Vic Fangio's defense is going to be a lot different, so that it will be a new learning experience. Even if you move Van Ginkel to inside linebacker, you still kind of need a guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even if you don't need a guy, like in the long run, have a guy here in training camp, because we know injuries happen. That's the reality of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And we also don't know. I mean, we haven't really seen any action yet. So, and neither is Vic Fangio. So, we're going to get a little more questions answered about why these guys we draft that we never see and where they go and what's going on with them.
Yeah. Yep, 100%.
We might have more in the building than we realize. And I think that, again, that goes back to what Fangio said about finding the talent.
I agree with you 100%. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you're on the Facebook side, please come join the YouTube side, join the chat, join the conversation. Become a member if you like. We shout out to all of our members, by the way. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Color, we're going to do the rundown.
Alrighty.
Currently in Miami, and let me bring this up. Currently in Miami, it is, and here we go. All right, so currently in Miami, it still says it's 83 degrees. It feels like 91. There is a heat advisory, so stay cool, drink a lot of water. Make sure you re-up on electrolytes. Try not to work too much out in the open. So take it easy. But looks like today is going to be primarily sunny. Looks like clear, sunny skies. Very slight chance of rain. Like this afternoon, maybe 15%. The humidity is at 79%. It feels like 91 currently, it says. So when it gets to 91, which is the high today, imagine what's it going to feel like. It's going to feel like 100 at this point. So, Kyle, are you on the road or no?
Not on the road, but I am in the air, man. And it looks like today, traffic is pretty light up here in Palm Beach County. You got a little bit of a slowdown approaching Congress Avenue on 10th Avenue. But other than that, your normal slowdowns at intersections, everything is all good up here. As you roll down into Boca, you get a little bit of slowdown on I-95 approaching approaching Southwest 10th, going all the way through 26th and down into down all the way to Copans. So steer clear at 95 in that area. That's the only real slowdown in Broward County. You still have a major road, 95 road closure going through Fort Lauderdale, mostly greater Fort Lauderdale. Hollywood's clear, other than, as always, as you approach what is that? Why don't they blow up the names of these roads when you zoom in, man? You know what I mean?
I agree with you 100%.
It's like the stupidest thing. It's the Palmetto Expressway, but of course, leading into it from all points, Florida's Turnpike, coming in east from the Palmetto Expressway to the major Florida Turnpike junction, and going south. That's all red, all slow, as always, going down into the I-95 Express. Other than that, you got another slowdown going into downtown Miami area through the Airport Expressway on the I-95 Express, all the way south into the MacArthur Causeway. So avoid that area. And again, if you're in the 305, just turn around and go the other way. Wear your seatbelt, drive safe, and this has been your TFTG Network.com traffic report.
And thank you very much, Colors, for that. And if you're wondering,
And I almost crashed the helicopter.
Oh, shoot. Well, while Color lands the helicopter, check this out.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins TailGate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins TailGate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
That's right. Check out Fanatics, officially licensed everything. It's your one-stop shop for all the memorabilia for not just Miami Dolphin gear, but every sport, virtually. Signed gear, officially licensed signed gear. Anything and everything you can think of, Miami Dolphins or any sport you can think of, they have everything. They always got deals going on. You can ask Color. Even their clearance section at Fanatics is pretty dope. Don't you agree, Color?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, all of us love all of our stuff, so it's not like the fashions really go out of style, other than I guess there might be something that you just don't like. But yeah, you find great stuff in the clearance because really what goes out of date? I mean, I still buy stuff from the 70s if I can.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. You can get some of those classic Miami Dolphin jackets. I know El Capitan has one usually hanging in the background. He'll get to show it. I don't know if you remember those starter jackets and stuff. I gotta check to see if I can get those there. That would be pretty dope. So I collect the Miami Dolphin draft hats. If you let me actually put it here. So the layout. So the Miami Dolphin official draft hat for this year. I collect them every year. So I have a slew of them. I get them all from Fanatics. And if you're getting them from Fanatics, use the link below in the description. Now, there's no difference. There's no price difference or anything. You get all the same deals. You can use the same code and everything. Just by using our link, it kind of gives us a pat on the back. And it basically tells Fanatics that we sent you. So that's basically what it's for. We'd really appreciate it if you could do that for us.
It's like name dropping.
Yeah. Color and Ali sent me, and I need to be able to get this hat that he says that is the dopest hat ever, which it is. It definitely is. And let me tell you about expediency. Fanatics is one of the fastest companies I've ordered from online with getting product. The hats, they usually come within 2 or 3 days. I ordered a custom jersey, and this was Friday morning about 2 a.m. in the morning, right? It arrived Monday morning, Color. Custom. My custom number and name on the back, which I will be wearing at training camp and at the games People can
Yeah,
check that
man.
out. If you're looking for me, I'll release the jersey and you'll see the name on the back. You just look for that name and number, and you know it's me. So just a shout out to the Fanatics. But also check out Backroom Collection if you're looking for some fancy artwork to hang in your bathroom or your garage or place of business or whatever. Check out Backroom Collection. They have awesome customizable fancy artwork for Miami Dolphins and other sports, and they do custom stuff. They're mom and shop, people down to earth. They also have little accessories for those little mini helmets that people like to get signed and stuff. So check out Backroom Collections. And if you really need some energy in the morning to keep up with me and Color on top of the tailgate, check out W Energy Drink. W Energy Drink has a variety of different energy supplements. They claim that doesn't provide the crashing and jittering that you get with a lot of other energy drinks. In addition, they also do not include a lot of the harmful byproducts that you see in energy drinks. And they claim that they also provide a lot more benefits in the regards of more minerals and vitamins that benefit the brain concentration and functionality. So definitely check out Doobie Energy Drink. Check out Shake Money's show. He has, I think on Saturdays, he's doing different flavors. He also has like a box reveal, that video that he has floating around the TFTG. Check it out if you want somebody in the community's, experience with Doobie Energy Drink. He says it's pretty good, so definitely check it out. And he also says he doesn't get the jittering and crashing like they claim. He does not get that, so that's rock and roll to him. But both Backroom Collection and Doobie Energy Drink, you use code TFTG at checkout to save 10% off your first order. So definitely.
All smash, no crash. Dub.
There you go. You better market that Color. Put your name and stamp on it. So so shout out to all of our affiliates. We appreciate it. But yeah, if you're check out tftg.com. That's our one-stop shop for everything TFTG, everything from articles and blogs that we're going to be doing throughout the season. I know I have stuff I want to talk about and write articles about, but I have to wait till training camp starts so I can start putting information together. In addition to that, you can get instant access to our Twitter feed. And you weren't here, Color, but I'm telling everybody, and this is the road to 1,000 followers, okay? Go check out everybody on the channel's Twitter feed, right? Everybody, I'm going to ask them to put their Twitter handle up. Mine is underneath my name. Color, I believe, has his too if he put it there. Or if not, put it there, Color. I want everybody at TFTG to have over 1,000 followers on Twitter specifically. I want them to I need everybody to follow so you can come join the conversations with us when we're in Twitter Spaces, or when you want instant updates of content that we're providing and whatnot. But I want everybody to be part of that. And so if you can, while you're on Twitter, go ahead, copy and paste my name, Ali_DA_Persian. Search for it, add me. I will follow back as always. And rock and roll.
Yeah, everybody got to let Elon know we want to put a TFTG flag on the moon, man.
That's right. So definitely let Elon know. So road to 1,000, but that's what it's all about. Let me take myself out of the solo layout, Color. I'm sorry, I'm still on this. There we go. So you can check out at ColorCom. That's yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so mine's at Ali_DA_Persian. Colors is at ColorCom. Go ahead and follow us. You'll see me sharing Lewis and El Capitan and everybody like that. Make sure you go there and give them a follow as well. And Shake Money and even KP. RIP, I believe, is he still on vacation for a little bit?
I believe so.
Yeah, so he's out of town for a little bit. When he gets back, we're going to get a full swing of content from Kahari P. I can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, definitely check out some of the shows that we have around here. You got El Capitan Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and even on Sundays during the season, you got Color and myself, top of the tailgate, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Color will eventually be getting going where he can put his show in concession with mine whenever he feels the need to or when he can. So definitely watch out for that. Sometimes Color goes in the afternoon too. So isn't that right, Color?
Yeah. So always keep your notification bell rung.
Yeah, and if you go to our website and you can go there, you'll sign up for the newsletter. I believe you'll get updates on content and special events, and our Twitter, because we'll be advertising our shows on Twitter too. So you'll get notification that way as well. So definitely check that out. KRP, newest team member. Can't wait for his content to come out. I am excited what that's going to bring. In addition, you got the madmen of the night. You got Lewis and Shake Money, cooking folk, mixing people left and right. Our channel, on Larry K's channel, on the Twitter Spaces, all over the place. Go give those two guys a follow too. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Definitely check out Lewis and Shake Money. With Prime Time and Drive By and Smoke Lounge episodes, they do so much color. It's crazy. I can't keep up.
I know. All that young energy.
Oh, yeah, I used to have it. All right, let's keep it going. So, let me bring that up. So let's see what we got. What time is it currently? 7:16. Let me check the poll. Well, the yes have it. 58% of people stated, 32 votes, has stated that they want me to keep going till 8 o'clock color. So I'm going till 8. I promised I'll keep going if they say yes. If they were going to give me the break, I'd take it. So,
well, we didn't get dressed up for nothing.
This is true. All right. If you're waking up, it's sunrise is going on right now on the east side of Florida. So if you're on the West Coast or, around the world, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on notifications. We'd really appreciate it. Let's see what else we got going on, color. I don't know if there's any major news. We'll talk about the 75 best Dolphin games of the 2000s. We're talking number 40 through 36, color. And if you haven't been following along, we've been talking about the best games of the 2000s. Some of these are losses, just be warned. They're giving credit. Alan Papar is giving credit towards uniqueness of how they won, the circumstance, something special that may have happened, or how they lost, something incredible, or something that was crazy that happened. So they get points all over the place. So if you want to go to check this out, check Alan Papar on Sports Illustrated. Go to Fan Nation, All Dolphins, and then you can see it there. Sorry, my dog is barking in the background. I apologize for that. Let's keep it going. All right. So his number 40 color was in 2000 at Cincinnati. Dolphins win 31-16 against the Bengals. Few games in Dolphins history turned so much on one first half play like this one at Paul Brown Stadium, coming in with a 3-1 record against a bad Cincinnati team that was 0-3. The Dolphins sleepwalked through most of the first half and appeared as though they would take a 13-3 deficit into the locker room at halftime. But it all turned thanks to a truly horrible decision by the Bengals, combined with a great play by a great player, Jason Taylor. With 8 seconds left in the half and facing a 2nd and 5 from their own 37, after a 5-yard run by Brandon Bennett, the Bengals decided to have Akili Smith drop back to pass. Bad idea. Horrible idea. Taylor got around the left tackle in a hurry, nailed Smith from behind, and caused a fumble that he picked up and returned 34 yards for a touchdown that made it 13-10. The Dolphins then dominated the second half, scoring 3 touchdowns before Cincy kicked a late field goal. Interesting.
Huh.
That was a good game, if I remember correctly. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, typical Jason Taylor.
Yeah, he's done that a few times, I've noticed, in some of these games they've ranked, to be honest. So
yeah, that was a common occurrence, that scoop and score.
Yeah, definitely. I believe he actually had one that was like 80 yards too, didn't he? 75 to 80 yards, something like that. Something ridiculous.
And it would always happen just like in that kind of spot, man, right before the half or right before the game ends. You know, either to lock things down for us or to, you know, take over the game. I mean, that's just, man would just take over a football game.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Carla. Good morning. Good morning, all. I appreciate you, Carla, for joining the chat. I know it's super early where you're at. Number 39, color. Number 39. And let me get here the camera. Okay.
Larry Zonka.
No, this is the 2000s. Remember, don't forget that. So 2013, and friend of the community, Q, may have something to say about this. So the Dolphins are playing their 2013. They're at Pittsburgh. Dolphins 34, Steelers 28. The game is well known for its very scary finish from a Dolphins vantage point, but it also was a fun back and forth battle. There were 4 lead changes in the second half before Charles Clay, your favorite player, color, gave Miami the lead for good with his second touchdown reception from Ryan Tannehill. The scary part came on the final play, which began at a 4th and 9 for the Steelers from their 21 with 3 seconds left, and ended at the Miami 12-yard line when Antonio Brown stepped out of bounds after 5 laterals left. Let's just say it wasn't that far from the what the Dolphins would produce 5 years later in Miami. Okay, I get what he's saying. So he's saying it wasn't very far from what Miami did in the Miracle Miami game. That's what he's saying. This game also will be remembered for 2011 second-round pick Daniel Thomas' 111-yard rushing performance, his second and last 100-yard outing for Miami. Wow. That was a hell of a game, if memory serves me right.
Yeah.
Wasn't, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Wallace there?
It's quite possible.
For Pittsburgh, I believe. I believe Wallace was there. And they at that time, they also had, what's his face? Big Ben. So that was an interesting game. Back then, you know, it's kind of funny. I go back and forth with Q about this. He's the resident Pittsburgh fan around here. Do you remember when the Pittsburgh Steelers used to be known as the steel curtain color?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't alive then, but yeah.
Feels like it's been forever. I can't even remember it. That's how long. No, I'm messing. Pittsburgh has always had a decent defense. They've always run a tight ship. They've had some troubles over the past 2 years, but it'll be very interesting what happens. I remember those days when they were known as the steel curtain. So rock and roll to them. Number 38.
Now they're called the Iron Drapes.
That or the aluminum can. Just kidding. So let's keep it going. 2019 versus Philadelphia. Dolphins 37, Eagles 31. Another close game. After a dreadful start to the 2019 season, the rebuilding Dolphins got interesting in the second half of the season. Some might suggest that was a bad thing, but that's a story for another time. And December 1st game against the Eagles served as a great example. On that day when Ryan Fitzpatrick passed for 365 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a 43-yard hookup with Devontae Parker on 4th and 4 late in the first quarter. It was the specialist who teamed up for the most memorable play of the game. The Mountaineers shot. It was called, and it produced a 1-yard touchdown pass from punter holder Matt Hawk, I believe is how you pronounce that, and kicker Jason Sanders after the Dolphins switched to a crazy formation with 5 players wide to the left and 4 wide to the right, and only Hawk in the shotgun behind center Daniel Kilgore. That was a hell of a play, if memory serves me right, color. You remember watching that? You were probably sitting there like, what
Oh,
the
yeah.
hell are we fucking doing here? Excuse my language. That's probably what we were thinking. Oh, man, that was a hell of a game. I'm glad to see that on this list. Number 37 color. 2017 versus the Los Angeles. I believe this was, hold on. This was the Chargers. Okay, that's why they're putting Los Angeles. I was wondering if they're going to put, if it was the Rams or somebody like that. So I had to look. Dolphins win 19, Chargers 17. The start of the 2017 season was chaotic, to say the least, for the Dolphins, who opener against Tampa Bay Buccaneers was postponed because of a hurricane, Irma. Instead, the Dolphins spent a week in Southern California for their Week 2 game against the Chargers in their temporary home of StubHub Center, a soccer stadium with a third of the seating capacity of a normal NFL stadium. This was the Dolphins' debut for QB Jay Cutler, who threw a touchdown pass to Kenny Stills, and Jay Ajayi began his Pro Bowl campaign by rushing for 122 yards. But his game came down to the kickers, with Miami's Cody Parker nailed a 54-yard kick with 1:10 left, and the Chargers' Yao Hung Ho Koo. I don't know if I said that correctly. He has a name I can't pronounce. I apologize, color. Missing from 44 yards out on the next to last play of the game. That was a game that kind of sucked, to be honest.
Yeah.
The Dolphins have pretty good success in number 36, and this was the last one we're going to talk about today. And somebody mentioned that we're the new Cowboys of the AFC. 2003 at Dallas, Dolphins 40, Cowboys 21. The Dolphins have a pretty good success on Thanksgiving Day through the years. And the route of the Cowboys in 2003 has to rank near the top of those games. The Dolphins were 7-4 heading into the game against the 8-3 Cowboys, but it turned into a rout after Jay Fiedler connected with Chris Chambers for their touchdown pass. For a good measure, Jason Taylor scored a 34-yard fumble return to make a score of 30-14 in the third quarter, and led grew to 40-14 before Dallas tacked on a late touchdown. So there's that scoop and score by Jason Taylor that we were accustomed to seeing. We need Jalen Phillips or someone to be the Jason Taylor of this Dolphins defense.
Yeah, it just completely changes the complexion of the game. I mean,
yeah. You could almost use the defense as an offensive scoring unit when you create the disruption and turnovers. And let's not forget, Color. Let's not forget that, and I've said this, and you can go read about it. Vic Fangio's defenses are known for what? Stopping the run and forcing the turnovers, right? You force the turnovers, and you could see stuff like this. You kind of saw a little bit of it by Melvin Ingram, who was doing kind of similar stuff in 2 or 3 games last season. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even I think Seiler even had a scoop and score, if memory serves me right. I could be wrong about that, but I think he did. So what's going on, Color? What are you up to?
Not much. Just sipping on some McCafe this morning. Medium roast.
Yeah, no coffee for me today, Color.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have tea. Put some lemon, honey in the tea and, mix it. And
maybe some, what's the stuff that you put on for,
Vicks?
what's the stuff? No, the stuff you put on to go to the beach,
Suntan lotion?
No. I can't remember what it's called. The lotion, calamine lotion.
Okay. I see where you're going with that. Yeah. I think I'm going to drink some tea, put myself to sleep. A good Latino friend of mine, she tells me that I need to take Vicks Vapor rub it down on the bottom of my feet and put socks on and go to sleep. I'll wake up feeling much better, she says. She says it's a little trick that her family historically has used. So I
Right.
might do that. Try it. You know, I'm
And
open.
I would just one modification. I would just substitute the Vicks Vapor Rub for some of that Remedy Balm from a sunny side. You know.
I'll have to check that out, Color. No, we don't know anything. I'm just going to put this out. We don't know anything about health benefits of either stuff or anything like that. Just speaking freely, just so you know. We're not promoting anything. None of that. Just speaking freely about, what I might do to get better. So
Yeah, if you wake up like Ali did this morning, just see your doctor.
I might have to do that, Color. I don't want to have to because, there's that deductible I got to meet. But
No, of course. We're just recommending that here on the show. Like, talk to your doctor because we're not doctors.
Go see a doctor. Yeah, definitely. Call your health insurance. They'll recommend someone.
Especially if your eyeball is about to pop out of your head.
That's what it feels like, Color. No, it's that type of pain. And it's right. It goes from there, right underneath my nose, and then down my jawline.
Really?
It might be a sinus, really bad sinus infection, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right. And yeah, so maybe might be an infection too up in one of your gums or something.
I hope not, Color. Because
Like
my whole
the incisors that are like, right before your molars, those ones actually the root hole goes all the way up, is a direct pathway up to like your sinuses and all that.
Oh yeah. In fact, if you have sinus infection, I've been told that can be very painful to that area. You're absolutely right. But my whole family is sick with a similar thing, so I'm thinking that maybe whatever I got is some like bad cold or something. Unless sinus infections are spreadable, are you be able to get? Is that something that can be spread? I have no idea.
No, but it could be something you all are breathing in the air that's similar, like an allergy to something. Maybe something's in bloom that you don't agree with.
Yeah, maybe that might be it. All right. How much time do we got left, Color? We got about 30 minutes.
Yep.
Good morning, Lewis. You're welcome to join the chat, bro. I believe I put the link in the private text for TFTG. So definitely join the conversation with us.
Yeah, feel free to tell us why signing Christian Wilkins is a bad idea.
I can tell you, I would
Shout
sign
out to
it.
Capitan. Great show last night, illustrating all of that with the up and down the defensive line, and he goes through and talks about the top salaries in the league and what it would, what you get for what you pay for, pretty much. A really good show. Yeah,
definitely. It was definitely a wonderful show. Go check it out. It reconfirmed my beliefs, Color. And, I've kind of like not really come out and said that we should pass on re-signing Christian Wilkins. I kind of have hope because I'm a fan or whatever. And my best friend, Jason's like big time Power Ranger fan. And, he considers Christian Wilkins like the Power Ranger of the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
He's also a fan as well, right?
I'm pretty sure Christian Wilkins considers himself the Power Ranger of the Dolphins. So yeah,
definitely. And there's probably a lot of fans that agree with that too, that statement. So I haven't said this, but what I am going to say, if our intentions are to win a Super Bowl, and you're going to hear me saying this a lot more after that episode that I listened to last night, and it reconfirmed my beliefs. If I'm Miami, you stick to your guns and you just fill position of needs. If you don't rush a contract on Christian Wilkins, you could still very well, tag him next season for lesser cost than probably what he absolutely wants, possibly. You know what I mean? By listening to what that show last night and breaking down the money of the top 10 defensive tackles in this league, right? And what money they have invested, I kind of have a belief of what I think he deserves, right? There's a couple guys we brought up that his contract lines right up based on the stats and everything that he brings versus what they're paying. And I don't think Miami should go over that. Stick to your guns. And that goes not just for the defensive tackle position. That goes for Dalvin Cook, any position of need. Don't overpay. Give them what you think is fair, right? And I think right now Miami has the leverage. So I don't want to see them, making ill mistake and overpay somebody and then come to find out there's a different position of need and we don't have the money. You know what I'm saying? I would rather wait, let it play out. There's other positions we definitely need to resign that I think is more detrimental. I think we need to keep this offensive line intact. So go and re-up, Connor Williams, go re-up Rob Hunt. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep those foundational pieces here on the offensive side. And then you also need to re-up, the safety position as well. So that's another position that I think is detrimental to the Vic Fangio defense. So I think you need to re-up that as well. You know what I mean? Just play it cool and let things play out. And you could still keep Christian Wilkins if you feel like he's definitely the guy that you need in this position. Like I said, I think we need more of a nose tackle kind of guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think you can get Seiler on a lower cost and still get similar production point. There's some good defensive tackles coming out of college next season too, Color.
Mm-hmm.
We have a first round draft pick, so you could very well re-up and like I said, this season was going to be about the secondary and the cornerback position, and restructuring it to what Vic Fangio likes. Next offseason, I truly believe it has to do with what the defensive line is and what kind of defensive line he wants to bring. So who knows? I hate to say this, but maybe Wilkins and Seiler are not even here next season. That could be a possibility.
As always, Yeah. But I think, I think we're still doing our diligence. So I think, just no different than the Dalvin Cook situation. We're gonna offer what we can offer, and if it ain't good enough, then it ain't good enough.
And here's the other thing: if Miami absolutely felt that Dalvin Cook was an absolute need, and they actually felt what they were offering was not fair, that they need to re-up, don't you think that he would have done it by now? They would have already offered him more money, and if they absolutely needed him.
Mm-hmm.
But they know they have the leverage, so they're going to hold on and wait until they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
That's why I think at the very earliest, nobody signs Dalvin Cook till after the 17th of July. Yeah. So for the last quarter hour here, till 8 o'clock, because I am cutting it at 8, Color. Let's answer some questions that the chat has. So if you have questions for us, put it in the chat. I'll let you guys bring up the content and we'll talk about it. So take this time to put in the chat what you want to talk about, questions for me or Color, whatever you want to talk about. Man. You excited for training camp?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, it's hot. It's hot down there, man.
I'll make sure I bring tons of water and Gatorade for you, man.
But other than that, yeah, it's a fun time, definitely.
Yeah.
Look forward to meeting people again, and getting up close, seeing the guys practice, reminiscing how it was to practice in that brutal heat, watching them do a lot of their drills. Just reminds me of. They do a lot of the same stuff you do from high school on up. They just don't do certain things because obviously they're professional athletes and don't really need to do those things anymore. But they still go through the fundamentals, they still hit the bags. They still, go through a lot of the stuff we used to go through in practice. It's fun to watch. You smell the grass, you smell the vinyl from the pads mixed with the sweat. It's a very distinct smell of a football field that'll bring you right back to your time playing. So it's real fun.
So, someone is saying that TD, I guess, wore darker colors during training camp, and they're saying they're advising not to because of the heat, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, the bleachers are undercover, so it's not too bad as far as direct sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to get close down to the practice field, or sit down in the area where you can get autographs and all that, it's right in the direct sunlight and can be pretty hot.
Yeah, definitely.
And yes, TD, the first, I do remember at least the first day of camp I was there, he was wearing all black.
Oh man. Well, I will say I've been to training camp. It was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of people. I recommend if you get a chance to definitely check it out. Certain days during training camp, they have something called the garage sale, and it's really dope. They take all of the equipment, let it be helmets, jerseys, and hats, and all that stuff that are from some of the former players or stuff that they have an overabundance of, and they're changing out, like people change numbers or whatever, and they sell it at a discounted price. The helmet I have, for example, it's a Speed Flex. I believe it's a Shut F7 helmet. That normally goes for like a couple $100. I got that for $75, color. Give me an example. They had jerseys, full blown, real jerseys that the players wear and everything for $75 a piece. So definitely check it out. It's a really cool event. If you're there on
That
special
through the
days,
little out like that through the little bazaar they got going into the practice facility.
yes, absolutely. That's called the garage sale. They usually have hats, all that kind of stuff, super discounted, better than what it is normal price.
Yeah, you can take pictures with TD, the field mascot down there, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, there's all different stuff. They have some different drinks and stuff like that. It's kind of like what they used to have before games with all the what they call that marketing event that they have with all the different brands and companies that pop up tents, and they have like entertainment, that kind of stuff.
And you got your normal thing. You can sign up for timeshares. They got plenty of those people. No, I'm kidding.
They probably do have people that are trying to sign up for season tickets, which I think they're sold out now. So I don't know how much they're going to have availability, but I know there's a waiting list you can still sign up for. But in addition to it, color, they also sometimes, depending on what day you go, they have like special memorable items that you can get. Like there was a towel, a water bottle, and different stuff that they handed out. They got some cool stuff. And then afterwards, like I said, you went to the bazaar, you bought a bunch of stuff and whatnot. After training camp, you can line up along the fence, and the players will come up and sign stuff. You know what I mean? It was awesome. I got to meet Christian Wilkins. I got to meet Teddy Bridgewater, or Skylar Thompson, or Jalen Phillips, and a whole bunch of other people. Even Tua came by for a hot minute. You know what I mean? It was pretty dope seeing him up close in person and seeing them sign stuff. So, and shout out to Christian Wilkins. He didn't sign anything for me. I got to say hey to him, but he was signing all of the kids' stuff, the stuff that the kids were holding out. So I have to give it up to him. Shout out to him, man. He's a real man.
Same with Jalen Phillips. He comes over to us, and there's a crowd of people and a bunch of kids, and
he's signing all the kids' stuff.
Everybody's sticking their stuff out for him to sign, and he's like swatting people away to make sure that he grabs the kids first.
Yeah. And that actually, I'm okay with that. If that's all he's doing, then I'm perfectly 100% cool with that.
Absolutely.
I can't say anything. It just adds more to his character and why I would love to see him stay in Miami.
Well, the first thing he did was I don't know if it was his or not, but the first thing he did, because he went into the building where the indoor facility is, right after practice, and then strolled out for the autographs, right? But before he did that, he met some female on the field and took a newborn infant from her into his arms and visited with what I could only assume is his kid. Before he even walked over to the fence to take care of everybody's autograph.
Yeah, definitely. It was really impressive, and it's cool. It kind of, it's not quite an NFL football game, but training camp definitely gives you a little bit more personal experience that you don't get at a game.
The funny thing was, as big as Jalen Phillips is, he could have very well had a football wrapped up in that blanket, and I wouldn't have known the difference.
So Ryan AP is asking, do they only do that during training camp? That I would say probably no. There's media areas you can stand at to try to get, signatures and stuff, probably before they're working out, before the games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think there's also a place where I don't know if they do it for the home team or not, because they obviously are closer to home and probably have, different exit points or whatever. But traditionally, a crowd would form like outside where the players, when they're done showering and cleaning up after the game, where they'll come out. Usually there's a line or a crowd that'll form around there. They'll come up to the fence and maybe sign some stuff.
Yeah, I'm just saying training camp, I think, is the easier way to get a lot of signatures.
Oh, no doubt. It's kind of expected of a few players. Like, they end up sending out a few players every day. It's almost as if they're kind of scheduled to almost, like they do it like clockwork. So if you're there with something to sign, it may be the practice squad player, but you're going to get an autograph from somebody.
Yeah. And it's funny, some of the practice squad players that I got, Color, I have their signature on the helmet because they made the 53-man roster. So it was kind of interesting. You know what I mean? I'll never forget when you got Skylar Thompson's signature and what you said to get it, which was funny as fuck. Do you remember what you said?
For everybody that knows me and how I feel about his name and the quality of football name that he has, or lack thereof, I should say. Yeah, he's standing there next to Teddy, and they're just chopping it up after practice. And I yelled over to him, "Skylar Thompson, the best name in football." So he comes over to me, and I, everybody knows he went to Kansas State. So I hand him my Miami Hurricanes hat, and he looks down at it, looks back up at me, lifts his eyebrow, and then goes back down and signs the bill.
Yeah, definitely. So Color, there was some questions that got asked, and I kind of want to go back and find them. Let me find where is it? There was a question.
While you're doing that, we'll give the special treat. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
You got it out of Miami Hurricanes. Did he beat the Hurricanes? I think he played the Hurricanes.
I don't know. I don't know how often we play Kansas State, but I certainly wouldn't think that we beat them these days. I mean, I default to we lose, but that's definitely, that autograph was definitely to be outdone by this one. I don't know if it's easy to see or not because of the green color, but
I see it.
That's the name that properly belongs on a Hurricanes hat.
Yeah, that's funny. So I found some of the questions that they had. So first of all, Color, if we let Wilkins walk, does that mean we sign a defensive tackle and get a Dalvin Cook? What do you think?
Well, it does free up a lot of leverage for us, doesn't it? I mean, again, it kind of allows you to do a couple other things too besides getting a Dalvin Cook. Yeah. I'm just afraid that if he knows about that, then, is he going to be, does that mean his premium goes up because he knows we have money to spend? Maybe that's why we're waiting on both. Like, we're not going to make a move on Wilkins till we know what we want to do with Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that could very well be it. Here's where I'm at with it. I think Miami knows that they have some money they have to figure out. And because they don't have all of the information yet, they're going to wait till like the first week of training camp. I think that's when you're going to see some of these moves come in. I expect them
especially on defense, because you got a guy, I know it's Vic Fangio and all, but he's still completely in the dark on our players when it really comes down to it. Mm-hmm. He's seen none of these guys in action. You mentioned it earlier about seeing guys move in pads and all that. That goes for the veterans too. I mean, and it's not as if they can't. It's just that Vic Fangio wants to see with his own eyes what he has. It's his baby now. And he wants to, he may have a completely different opinion than every other coach that's been in that building so far. That's why we gotta reserve our thoughts about guys like Cameron Good, Channing Tindall, because who knows what happens when Vic Fangio gets a hold of these guys. Let's not forget that Vic Fangio was the linebackers coach with Baltimore when Ray Lewis was there. Now you could say, well, Ray Lewis is Ray Lewis, but how do we know? Yeah, the talent was there, the athlete was there, but who got it out of him? Who formed it into an adult? You know what I mean? Who made it NFL worthy? Because plenty of guys come in raw with that kind of ability that don't ever pan out. So, the guy is obviously knows how to coach talent. I mean, if you look at where he's been and in the roles that he's played, and there's always these big names hovering around him, whether he had anything to do with those big names or not, there always seem to be hovering around this guy. So, hey, how do we really know what Cameron Good is or Channing Tindall? Forget what round they were drafted in. We obviously saw fit to keep them a Miami Dolphin. Why aren't they seeing the field? I'm sure Fangio has these questions too.
Yeah, definitely. I want to definitely see what they have in the tank. Like I said, I said it earlier, I want them to put everything out on the field color, balls to the wall. You know what I mean? And I actually think, because this is a contract year, I don't think Christian Wilkins can afford having a lackluster year. Because that, again, is going to hurt his money. He's been, the last 2 seasons, he's had back-to-back performances that you could argue that he belongs in the top 10 to top 5. You know what I mean? When it comes to defensive tackles. And I don't see him taking a year off just because they didn't give him the money that he wants right off the bat. I see him putting everything out on the field still. Same thing with Seiler. None of them can afford to do this. The only one that's a big question mark is, do we get Dalvin Cook? Do we need Dalvin Cook? That's a big question. I still think you're going to re-up the position one way with Dalvin, or maybe another running back, to be honest. There's some different things that could play out, so we'll see. I think the Miami Dolphins are playing it right. I think our issue is because we haven't already done it. That's kind of where we're at. And it looks like we lost color. Damn. Okay, hope he comes back. Let's keep it moving, guys. So I got 7 more minutes. Last minute questions. Let me see what you guys have in here. Oh, he's back. Back again.
Sorry about that. You got to put the mic button right next to the back button on my phone.
Seahuffle is saying that Fangio already said the defense has a bunch of bums. No, he did not. He did not say he has a bunch of bums. They have talent in a lot of places. He needs to find more talent. And what does that stand for? Depth. We need better depth fits here. We still have a big need at defensive tackle. If you think that Seiler and Christian Wilkins is a bum, then I'm sorry. You're wrong. You don't belong in football. If Vic Fangio really believes that, he doesn't belong in football. That's the reality of it. They are both talented players. Now, are they not a scheme fit? I don't know. But, well, that's a matter of subjectivity. But at the same time, we have talent across this roster. There's no secret that, on why the NFL, the ESPN, all the major media outlets, the YouTubers, the YouTube worlds, everywhere, even on Twitter, they're saying we have one of the top 5 most talented rosters in the NFL. So you can't say they're a bunch of bums. Aren't I right, Color?
Yeah, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it. When he says find talent, he didn't specify where he was going to look. You can find talent within somebody. You can find talent in the building, and you can find talent outside the building. He just simply said we need to find the talent.
So, Seahuffle doubled down on his beliefs. He says that compared to the rest of the NFL, we are full of hope. No double-digit sack guys, old corners, and no linebackers. Regardless of what you think of Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey, they still performed pretty decent enough to still be regarded as some of the best corners in this league. We also had young talent on this team, but we got hit by a lot of injuries. You had Nick Needham go out, young, talented. Trill Williams, who was having an amazing training camp until he got hurt in that Tampa Bay game. You know what I mean? You brought in Cam Smith, who is a big time ball hawk, and I honestly believe that he's going to eventually be Xavier Howard's replacement down the line, right? So I don't want to say we have bumps. Even in a safety position, yeah, they say that they're worried about having a starter next to Xavier Howard, but I don't think Brandon Jones, honestly, has showed everything that he has in the tank. I think in this defense, he's going to flourish, and you're going to see that this season. And he's still young enough to re-sign. He's just hitting, where his prime should be. So I understand where you're coming from. Defensive tackle, we don't have depth. I agree with that, but you can't tell me that the defensive ends and outside linebackers are bums. Even the linebackers that we have here, they are productive enough, that I don't really consider them to be bums. We do need another middle linebacker, but really it's depth. That's really what we need. So that's just my opinion. What do you think, Color? Anything?
No, I'm pretty much there. It's really a lot of wait and see, and we'll get a little more clarity as to what Fangio meant going forward. And I don't disagree. I don't necessarily. Did my back now? Did I get cut off? Ali?
Say that again?
Did I get cut off?
No, you said you don't necessarily disagree.
Right. Oh, and I was saying because we're really a lot, we're wait and see on that too. I mean, we're going to end up finding out what Fangio meant by what he said,
Mm. Yeah, we'll definitely find out. We'll definitely see what happens. I don't, the way Steve Hoffel is making it out, and I respect the guy. Guy shows up to every one of our shows, and is in Twitter Spaces and everything. He's from Northwest Ohio. I see where he's coming from. He's saying that I'm talking a lot of hope, but
well, sure. I mean, I don't disagree with him on that really at all. I mean, I operate mostly on hope.
But here's the thing: do you think a lot of the guys that we have starting on this defense are a bunch of bums? I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean,
the guy, even
it depends on who you're comparing them to. It really does depend on what paradigm you're comparing them in. Like, because there's levels, I guess. If you're talking about, sure thing, put it to bed, sight on, out of sight, out of mind, then yeah, I guess we don't have those guys. In that case, our guys are a bunch of bums. You know what I mean? Depends on how loosely you're using the word bums.
It wasn't like they weren't getting pressure. They just got held by 3 different players, and the NFL refused to throw the yellow flag. That's basically what happened over and over again. Jalen Phillips, how many times did he get close to sacking somebody, but he was getting held and no flag on the play.
Right, and I think a lot of that'll be helped. A lot of that'll be helped by coverage too.
That, and I also think when you have a Vic Fangio on the sideline that can say something to the referee, I think that's going to bring a lot of weight, and they're going to respect him a lot more than a Boyer or someone that's a rookie at their office coaching position or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? I understand what he's saying, that some of it is based on hope, but some of the best teams were built off of hope. Until you play the game, all you have is hope.
Well, that's kind of where we're at this point. We don't know what the guy was talking about when he said what he said. We can only speculate. But hey, if we get close to the season and we're making all these moves, bringing guys in, then we can kind of say, well, maybe Heffel's right. Maybe Fangio does think we have a bunch of bums,
Yeah, we'll wait to see what happens. But I can tell you that, all the stuff that the Bills do, or even what the Jets are doing right now, you can't tell me that, that they have a full franchise guy all over the place. It's very rare that you have a franchise guy in every single position. Jalen Ramsey, in my opinion, is a franchise guy. Xavier Howard was a franchise guy in his prime. You know, Cam Smith could be that guy. You know, I honestly think that Javon Holland, who Vic Fangio has talked nothing but praises for, can be a franchise guy. Yeah, our linebackers are in comparison to other teams. Yeah, they're kind of weak. I agree with that. We do need some depth pieces. But when you look down to the numbers that they put out production-wise, and I'm sure Color would be glad to get that calculator going down and putting up the numbers and seeing who rated where, I'm willing to bet that you found that both Christian Wilkins and Zach Seiler were very formidable and productive and efficient. So you can't really call them bums. You know, even tight ends, even the tight end room. Yeah, we don't have that sexy name, but Durham Smythe is not a bum. He does his job. He does exactly what we ask of him. So that's my opinion. Got me on my little rant before I got to go, Color. Any last final words for us?
Yeah. Durham Smythe's not a bum. Fins up.
I agree 100%. All right. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Check out our show tomorrow. And before I forget, definitely check out Color and the team starting July 31st. We're going to be reporting what we saw on day one of day camp, or training camp. And we're going to be talking about, you know, different things we saw, the battles and whatnot that we saw. So definitely check that out. I know this thumbnail is kind of funny, but definitely check out Color's going to camp with me. Color and I are going to be going to the Atlanta game. For as far as I know right now, Color, we are going. As far as I know.
All right. Well, cool, man.
So I will get with you
really
later
cool.
To confirm that. But my sources have told me we're going to the Atlanta game for preseason.
Well, I better be ready then.
Yeah. So I'll find out sometime this week and confirm that I definitely have that ticket for you. But I just wanted to let you know. So.
And by the way, if you want to full screen me real quick.
Sure.
That would be lovely.
One moment.
I have yet to.
Here you go.
So everybody, Color is now complete again because I went ahead and my coffee cup has arrived. My brand new coffee cup has arrived. So if you want to have a cup of color with Color, make sure you're getting over to TFTGnetwork.com and grabbing yourself a color commentary mug and even this awesome hat. Look at that. Is that not some jazz or what, man?
Definitely, bro. It definitely.
You want one of those? Get over to our website and get a color commentary hat.
Mm-hmm.
Wear it around town. Make everybody think that you got a golden voice before they even talk to you. And yeah, so there you go.
Definitely. I'm definitely gonna get one, Color, for sure. I'm waiting on my stuff to arrive. Once that arrives, then I can sport my hat. In addition to that, thank you to everybody that made that happen. Without you guys, you know, joining the conversation, hit liking and subscribing, you know.
And as far as I know, for those of you that are in Palm Beach County, as far as I know, I'm the only one that's bought one so far. So if you see one, it's probably your boy Color. Come say hi.
And if you know when Color says it's good, especially when he does this, it's good. With that ado, you all have a good night. And fins up. I'll see you guys first thing in the AM. Yeah.